Howdy, y'all, and welcome to Texas Watch for the week of Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. I'm your host, Projekt, and joining me, as always, is the Tracer main with the biggest brain, ZXO.
What is up, man? Another week, another day to talk Overwatch. It feels so good. It feels so good. We're getting week by week closer to getting to Overwatch 2. That's all I want.
Oh,
That's all I want at
man,
this point.
that's all we want, and guess what? That's actually our topic for this week. We're going to go over our wish list for Overwatch 2. Now, with this wish list, it's just going to be things that we kind of want to see in the game, maybe some improvements that aren't in Overwatch, or maybe a improved system from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. So, Zay, here's what I want to do. I want to kind of, each of us have our wish list piece, and then we just go back and forth, yeah?
That sounds like a plan to me. I mean, I do it enough in my head anyway. Why not do it on camera?
Cool. So, I'll get started. One thing that I really want in Overwatch 2 is more of the Mecha Squad. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's the squad that, my baby girl Diva belongs to. They are 5 characters. Let me see if I can get this off the top of my head. Casino, Demon, Diva, obviously. I want to say Royal? No, that's not right. That's not right.
I know one of them is insane. I didn't know any of the names of the Mecha Squad. I knew they existed,
Okay, wait.
And I know one of them, the repair guy, I think was in the trailer for Diva.
He's not actually part of the Mecha Squad, so I ended up pulling it up again. It's Casino, Demon, Diva, King, and Overlord. Overload or Overlord? Overlord. Cool. See, that's where I got
Overlord.
yeah.
Overlord. Okay.
That is Diva's Mecha Squad, the mobile exoforce for the Korean army. They're effectively characters who all have.
So, do you want to turn this into Mobile Suit Gundam? If we have
yes?
5 heroes.
Look, I am down for more heroes and mechs. Okay. Okay.
That's a lot of robots. I mean, we already do have quite a few robots. I guess that would be a lot more robots. Look, fair enough.
Here's the thing, right? A big reason why I want this, and I'll admit, partially, I'm biased. I love Diva a lot. But her gameplay
Peek the sweater, y'all. Peek the sweater.
It's one of the most unique gameplay, like, I don't want to call it loops, but, like, she's the only character with 2 lives. Like, you have the time in your mech, and then your mech gets destroyed, and then you have to fight your way back to charge up a new one, or just die. Like, playing Diva is a lot more of a get in, get out, play safe, don't play safe. Like, you have to be very flexible with her. And having the rest of the squad is really interesting because in the lore, which granted, we don't know a whole lot about the squad, but we do know that each member of the squad has their own specialty. So it would be really cool to have more mechs with different kinds of things, like maybe one of them is a support, for example. So you could have Diva and then, well, I would assume maybe King or Overlord would be support, but we don't actually know yet.
That's an interesting topic because I think it would be cool to have more of the Mecha Squad in there, but maybe just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
If we got 5 more or 4 more, I guess it's 5 total, right? 5
yes.
total, and including Diva. So if we got 4 more, I guess mecha heroes with the 2 lives thing. Maybe, I mean, I don't. It depends what the designers at Blizzard can come up with, right? Because if they're all like Diva, we're just gonna have this thing where I don't know if you played. I know you've played it, but if any of our listeners have played, what is it, Diva Egg? Where
Oh my
basically
God.
you're Diva and then you die and you pop out as a random hero. So if you kill Overlord, you pop out as a dude with a fucking giant sword, and now you're like a fucking big ass Genji or something. You're just like, what's going on?
Now,
So as long as it's not in that regard, I'm good. But I would say if you do 4 people like that with these mecha abilities, I don't know. I'm skeptical, but I'll take 1 or 2 more.
well, that's kind of see. I'm in the realm of 1 to 2 more. Like, we have so many. Like, Overwatch 2 is gonna have legs for a long time. Remember, Overwatch 1. It's weird calling it Overwatch 1. Has been around
not
for.
Yet. I'm not ready. I wasn't prepared. Just keep it Overwatch.
It's okay. What is it? Game came out in 2016. Overwatch 2 is projected April 2021. So that is 5 whole years of this game. In these 5 years, we have gone from 21 heroes to 36. Yeah, 36 sounds right. And granted, we did get the last of the main heroes of the cast with Echo earlier this year.
Right.
But hey, you know what? I anticipate we're gonna go back to multiple characters. We already know that we're getting 3 characters or 3 more characters at launch, and we know Sojourn's one of them, and the other 2 are a question mark. Uh,
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. And as you mentioned before, as we go back and forth on these topics, I know you have a couple other things you want to mention, but what you just said brought up for me. Are we gonna update some of the heroes that we have now's abilities?
ooh, well,
Soldier 76. Sprint is not an ability, dude. He needs something more powerful than fucking running fast.
I
Look
mean,
at Sigma, look
ooh.
at Echo, look at these new heroes, and he's like, Soldier, what's your cool thing? I just run fast.
I mean,
Like,
I think that the argument there, I do think that sprint should not be an ability. It should be a passive for him.
yeah,
Uh,
I agree. Yep.
but I feel like the reason why Soldier is so basic is because that's the point. Remember, when Overwatch 1
No.
came out, you had so many people being like, I don't know what to play. I just play Call of Duty. Okay, cool. Pick Soldier and you'll be able to be fine. There are so many characters in the game that have very simple, basic abilities. Soldier, Orisa, Pharah, Mercy, where you just need to understand how to do maybe 1 to 2 things, and they're really good at those 1 to 2 things. And in the right hands, players can actually optimize and utilize them very well. In our little squad that we play with, we know one of the best Mercy mains I have ever played with, and I'm very thankful that we have her on the
True.
squad. I think that Soldier fits in that niche of still being able to be casual while being optimized. Now, I do want to go forward though on your suggestion. Reworks, they're necessary. I think characters like May will probably get a rework. I don't know if Reinhardt needs one. Maybe something to make him a little bit faster. It's a question.
Maybe I think Ryan's in a good place. I think May is up for discussion. I honestly think Bastion a little bit. I guess Bastion is what he is, but I think he could use a little bit of something. I mean, it's a shift and he heals himself.
Well, that would be
And
great for the lore. I mean, we already know that Bastion and Torbjorn have this relationship. Maybe something happens from Overwatch to Overwatch 2, or Bastion gets an upgrade from Torbjorn, and he maybe can move around while in turret form at the cost of some damage, you know? Like, we don't know what's possible.
I've got the best update they could do is to just delete Brig.
Oh my god. You're never gonna get off this train, are you?
No, I will never hop off this wagon until she's removed from the game. She's a lot better now. She's better. I'm actually willing to play her when necessary, and that's a lot for me because y'all know if you listen to the show, I hate that character because she ruins the fun of Overwatch. You can't flank, can't do anything. There's this person with the flail destroying everything. If you delete Brig, it'd be a better game in my opinion.
I mean, I know you're joking, but you know for a fact she's like one of the main characters in Overwatch 2. That's not gonna happen.
I know. I can dream. A man can dream, okay? A man can dream that this hero will not be there.
Let's just make you a custom game where nobody can pick Brig. Cool?
Oh, I'm down with that. Oh, absolutely. That would be peak Overwatch for me. No, well, peak Overwatch for me. I enjoy Quick Play Classic, the original way Overwatch was made before the 222 roll lock. If you don't know how I feel about that, go back in some of the older videos and listen to our thoughts when this was going to be implemented or rumored to be implemented, and we were on very different sides of the spectrum. Coming full circle, honestly, it works. It works. I enjoy more Quick Play Classic or the original way. However, from a competitive standpoint, I can see why it should be 2-2-2 because you can get to some really memey stuff, and you don't want memey stuff.
No.
On a competitive level. So, only on the quick play level, but not competitive.
Let me go back to your wish for Overwatch 2. Are there any characters aside from Brig, you can't say Brig, that you want?
Brig. Let me
that
think.
you
Brig.
Want a rework of?
What I want a rework of, I would like to see this. I mean, having played the game a lot, I'm used to a lot of the way the heroes work. I really wish that we got some more supports, if anything, to be honest. The supports we have are good. Maybe a Zenyatta rework. I think Lucio's fine. I think Mercy's fine. I think Zenyatta, with the way the characters happen, with the Sigmas and the Echoes, there's just a lot more shit going on in Overwatch
Yeah.
now. It used to just be all Zen had to worry about was Tracer. Then Sombra came into the mix. Now we've got Echoes. Sigma can rock you from everywhere. Like, so Zenyatta throughout all of this has just been kind of like, I'm a floating Omnic that can't move very fast. So it'd be nice to give him a kind of get off me move, like a lot of the other supports have. Like Baptiste can
Yeah.
jump, Mercy can fly, Lucio is fast as hell, like Moira can fade. A lot of the other supports can do that, but Zen is the only one that's just like,
Does he even
what's up?
have a defensive ability? Like, even Ana
No.
has sleep.
Right. He does not have defensive ability. So I think they try to use the trade-off of he does a lot of damage, but with the way Overwatch was and what it is now, I don't think that's enough.
Mm.
And that's why you kind of don't see as much Zenyatta play anymore. Lucio Zen used to be a thing because you could heal enough as Lucio, and Zen would put out enough damage to kill the heroes he was up against. But there's just so many heroes who can just deal with him now. It's a lot harder. So I would love to see a Zen rework. Keep the Discord orb, but maybe he actually walks, and that's a thing.
Oh.
His ultimate is him like dropping his legs down. He's like a super omnic and like can like run through you or something. That would be badass.
That would be pretty
So
badass.
so I hope Blizzard is somehow thinking of these ideas for Overwatch 2, because if they do, that'd be fucking insane. I would love it. I would love to play a Zenyatta that does that. But that's one of the ones I can think of. The damage heroes have done a pretty good job of balancing. And I think that's the case because there's so many of them, right?
Right.
You have to have those heroes balanced, or else you're gonna break the game very easily. So I think they've done a good job of the damage heroes. But I think support is where I want to look at and see more heroes or some alterations to kind of spice things up.
Okay, I like that. Personally, to answer my question, I want to see Zarya get retuned. I do think that she
Yeah, she's
has a
another
great
one.
kit,
She's another one.
but I feel like there needs to be a bit more, like with her bubbles, for example. For one, it's way too easy to put a bubble on the wrong character. Like, it's the worst feeling when you are playing Zarya. You have a Ryan in the front line. His shield just broke. He's swinging away, and then you go to bubble him, and then Moira walks in front of you and takes the bubble. Ryan dies, and you lose the fight.
Yeah.
Maybe some ability, and I do know that in the campaign trailers, I think it's actually been confirmed she has like an ability to have multiple bubbles, or you put one on somebody and everybody gets it. But that's in the
Ooh.
campaign. That's not in multiplayer. So
Uh, that's right, because I think they're changing it to where it's like upgradable
mhm.
the abilities, right? Like Ryan has like some kind of freezing shatter or something. I don't know, but there's all kind of different abilities. I know Tracer has a couple where like she gets an extra blink or something like that. I can't imagine Tracer for 4 blinks. That'd be so OP. Like 3 is already ridiculous in my opinion. That's a Tracer main, but 4. Oh, I'm gonna be in the back line all day, all day, all night. So yeah, I think you're right. That's the campaign, but I mean, maybe they can leak some of those into multiplayer. We'll see.
Well, that's actually a good transition. We talked about this beforehand because that's what we do for on the show. You had mentioned you want to see more customization.
I do. I want to
So
see a lot more customization.
let me actually jump in first.
Yeah,
Going
go ahead.
through, we already know that there are going to be customizable legendary skins. But that's
Mhm.
not what I'm referring to. And this is going to start where we start talking about the competitive integrity of the game. What if we have customizable abilities that you can take into multiplayer? So, for example, let's just go poster child tracer. You can have something to where, sure, she might get 4 blinks, but they are at half distance. Or maybe you can have it to where her recall doesn't recall damage, but every piece of damage that she does gets pushed back to another character. Like, it would add on another metagame onto the already complex metagame that is Overwatch on a game by game basis. I
That would be
mm,
very interesting.
I don't know if I
That
want to
would
see
be
it
very
though.
interesting. I, if you do it, it would have to be at a very kind of minuscule level. Like for example, you brought up the blink thing, right? So, like I think 4 blinks would be too OP for that.
But at
So
the half
I would think
distance?
I even with the half distance because you you kind of okay, no, I know what will make it fair.
Okay.
Is if when the heroes are shown, because in Overwatch I believe it's what 12 seconds or 10 seconds before you see the other team's heroes
Yeah.
when the game starts,
Yeah.
you should see their abilities immediately. So when you press tab, you see that the tracer has picked 4 blinks instead of the regular one. Because I think it's hard enough for teams to figure out what you're running and what you're doing in the regular Overwatch time frame in competitive. Then you add abilities on top of that. By the time another person figures out a tracer has 4 blinks instead of 3, it's too late. Like it's too oppressive, I think. So even if both teams have it, because there are going to be some abilities that are broken more than others when it
Yes.
starts, and it's going to take a lot to balance. Overwatch can barely balance itself, or Blizzard can barely balance it as it is. So I think that it would also be something that has to be revealed along with the character. So it's like Tracer shows up, she has a lightning bolt above her name as one of the abilities, which is like I have 4 blinks. So Zen is
Right.
like, okay, cool. Now I know that you're not going to go as far, but you have 4 blinks, and the whole team knows for both sides. So yes, so I changed my mind. At first, I was like, it's too OP, but if you let everyone know in the lobby, I think it's good. And if
So,
it's good, then it would add another layer. But it would be
mm,
harder for people to step in as new players. And we all know how Activision Blizzard likes their money. They need some basic things to happen so people want to play the game.
and that's actually my counterpoint. I don't know if I want that in multiplayer. I know I brought it up, but I don't know if I want it. Just because the amount of information that you need to process at any time while you're playing Overwatch is already a lot. It's you
True.
have to know who's playing what, where your team is, what's the objective position.
Hmm.
There's a lot that already goes on, and adding another layer to that, A, terrifies new players, B, terrifies casual players, and I don't have a C. I just don't
Yeah,
think that it's
because the us players who have played a lot of it are like, oh, that's no big deal. I already know what all the characters do. This is just one other thing.
and
But
but
that
that's
would
another
only go to the
thing.
hardcore, yeah, fan base.
Yeah, and we would have to learn another aspect of the game. Which, granted, we've dove into the game enough as is, but having to, I don't want to say force yourself, but to learn something new on top of everything that we already have to know, it's a lot. And
Yeah.
you're 100% right. Activision Blizzard really likes their money, and it's the casual players that are the ones spending the most.
Yep, exactly, exactly. And they're going to keep it that way. They don't want to lose that player base by bringing in new stuff. So I think abilities is a great idea for the campaign, right? Which is, I
Yes,
think we already confirmed that what they're doing. We saw the streams before of content creators and other streamers playing that version of Overwatch in PvE.
I have watched
But
the XQC stream so many times. He's the
I
only
think
one
I
that
can.
got it. Literally, he's the only one that has Overwatch 2 story campaign like all the way through from the first level. If that's the first level, which I doubt.
Right, right. It's probably just a random level they dropped them in. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea to keep you engaged in a kind of Destiny 2 style way for Overwatch. But multiplayer is a totally different beast, and they're gonna have to keep that on the base level for what it is now. Add new maps, of course. We have a new game mode in push.
Very excited
Um,
for that.
so that's going to be a whole new experience. So I think that's good, especially with 3 new heroes. I'm assuming, I guess it has to be one each, right? If we're going to go into the guessing game here, it has to be one tank, one damage, one support, right? It has to. I would think, but who knows?
Uh, I mean, they were talking about the whole 222 thing isn't concrete. We might see 321. We really don't
Oh,
know.
that's right.
I would be pressed to see them try to start Overwatch 2 and be like, by the way, it's 321 now. I don't think that would go over well. It would have to definitely be tested a lot more.
We only got to see it once in like the experimental card, right? I think you
Yeah,
remember that was 3-2-1, and playing tank on that was so
it
rough,
was
dude.
so chaotic
But
too.
and healers were having a hard time too. The healers were like, I have 3 DPS to figure out how to heal, and my tank is just sitting there. Like I think the thing that they did with increasing the HP or the health pool of the tank was a good idea, but it wasn't enough. So I
Mhm.
don't know what they're gonna do in that regard. But it'd be cool as a game mode, like a side game mode. I could be like, oh, Play 3-2-1.
Yeah,
That'd be good.
yeah, I'd agree with that. But I want to put a pin in this part for now because there's another one that I think is really important that I want to cover, and that's better anti-cheat detection, or well, cheat detection,
Oh
anti-cheat
yes.
software. For casual players, they might not notice this as much because it's seen mostly in competitive, but the amount of people that cheat, that buy new accounts to get it, they do nothing but play quick play to the level 25 and then they jump immediately to competitive. And then they play Widowmaker, they play Hanzo, they play McCree, all of the hit scan characters, which effectively can be manipulated by a cheat. They get to play that, and then they dominate in your game, and you're like, why is this level 25 beating me so bad? And you
Yep.
watch the gameplay, and then it comes back, and you watch Widow kill you, and then it says, snap, and it's like, okay, no human can actively do that well.
Yep. Yep. You can, and you see it's so obvious. I guess for us it's obvious because we've played enough Overwatch to be able to tell. But yeah, man, it's been too long. The game has been out for over what we said, almost 4 years now,
Yep.
5 years.
It'll be 5 years when the next game comes out.
So Blizzard, they've got to do better with this, in my opinion. I think one of the reasons they haven't is because a lot of the best anti cheats are very invasive for the
Yes.
user. It
Yes.
goes down to the kernel of your operating system. That motherfucker is tracking everything that you do. So some people, it's invasive. It really is.
Well, if
So,
you
and
remember the what was the Valorant one? All of that drama.
oh yeah, or it
Uh,
was like crashing people's computers, and if you had if even if you had it running in the background not playing the game, it was breaking other applications. Like it was way too invasive. So I respect Blizzard for I don't remember what the Valorant one was called, but I respect
Vanguard.
Blizzard for not Vanguard. I respect them for not putting something that invasive in. However, as someone who has dealt with cheaters multiple times in Overwatch, it is a shitty experience. It is a
Yeah.
very shitty experience. And to roll up a little bit into what you're saying, there's got to be a better way than this wait till 25, level 25, to get them into competitive, right? Because there's nothing worse than someone who buys a new account, me, and has a ton of hours in the game and is level 12 and you're like, bro, you're not level 12. Like, you're running around as Tracer here, murdering our backline, and we can't do anything about it because we just never played the game before. I think there needs to be a little bit better balancing around that.
So
But
let me actually ask something that I literally just thought of. What if that they had some sort of account link where you can tell if somebody has other accounts? We know that IP bans exist. So we know
true.
that Blizzard can see, hey, you're switching accounts, but you're coming from the same computer. Obviously, we're assuming you're the same person. What if that was something to protect players from doing just that? Or even better, protecting players from getting that new account, going to level 25, and then intentionally throwing all of your competitive games. Which happens.
Yeah, that's a start. That's a technological start that they, excuse me, could use. Um, I will say it's very easy to get a free VPN, and all you do is
Yeah.
you make an account on one VPN or on your regular computer, activate a VPN, your IP address is different, and you can do what you want. And the way the VPNs are now, they're very good. You don't get a lot of latency as you play. So I think that's a good idea. It's easily remedied that there are technologies out there that can remedy that and get it fixed, that they can just work around it. But I don't know. This can't be that hard. Like, what do you like? It's a chicken and the egg kind of problem, right? I don't know if I really want like something like Vanguard running on my computer all the damn time. It's not like I get anything to hide. I'm not hiding nothing. But damn, like really?
Well,
I'm my operating my system
uh,
32. Do you need my system 32?
but that's the hardest part about it because Vanguard, it's effective. As far as I
It
know,
is.
well, actually, I think there were cheaters in Valorant for a while. But as far as I know, it's difficult to cheat
It
when
is.
you play Valorant. And like cheating has been something that's been in games for a long time. This isn't something
Right.
that's recently come up in the last 5-10 years. It's been a problem since
Hmm.
video games have existed. It's just it sucks, you know?
But
Go ahead, go
it's
ahead.
getting harder and harder though because first of all, technology is getting better, but it's also been getting more profitable to be a cheater because look at esports. Esports is one of the largest growing industries in the world. You can to get on a team, even let's just say you cheated your way onto a professional esports team, just getting signed and they find out you're a cheater and then you got the money. Like what the hell? Like, whatever. I already got paid. Got my checks. You can't take the money on my bank account out, as far as I know, whatever's in the contract.
They're
But yeah,
actually.
I got the money.
I'm sure there is a
So
clause that says like if you get caught doing this, we can take
shit, you
something
better come
back.
find me because I'm out. I'm going to Canada. Like you better find me. I'm good. I got a cabin. I'm fine. I'm chilling in the woods.
And that's how he becomes the next Dexter. Ugh.
Oh shit. So yeah, so I think it's an interesting problem. I mean, I think there are people for the Blizzard corporation, Activision Blizzard, who get paid to solve that problem. So
Yes.
I hope they come with a better solution than what they have right now, because right now it ain't working. It's not working, Blizzard. For real, it's not.
Oof. Well, with that, I'll pass it back to you. What's your next wish list item?
Man, here's what I want, right? So in a lot of games, and this is in Call of Duty originally, you're able to pick how you want to play.
Yes.
So I want to play a certain way, right? My favorite map in Overwatch is King's Row. If I want to play King's Row so I can, spend my 15, 20 minutes when I should be working from home, if I want to play one game of King's Row real quick, I can do that. And that's what I mean by customization. So in the quick play menus or when you want to boot into a game, the ability to hero select, or sorry, role select, so you roll Q, but then you also are able to pick the map pool that you want to participate in. That
Mm,
would be awesome. That would be such a great quality of life to me, especially when games like Call of Duty have had modes like that for a while. They've had I forgot what they used to call it, but it was like long range maps. There was just a certain map pools you could select. You couldn't select maps individually, which is fair, but you could select certain map types
I
that
I
you wanted to participate in.
I want to say Halo did have it to where you could pick specific maps. Am I
They
thinking
did.
that right?
They did. Well,
Yeah.
I think at least it was related to certain game modes. So you could do like Slayer and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
type of ones, or you could do Slayer regular kind of thing. Of course, I don't want this in competitive. If this isn't competitive, that'd be broken as hell. Like I'm the best tracer on Lijiang Tower ever. Like that doesn't mean anything. So you can't have it in a competitive setting. But in a quick play style setting or a custom game setting or something like that, maybe I just want to queue for Kings Row in Hollywood, or maybe I want to practice the map better so I can get better with a specific hero on that map. Let me play it in a quick play setting, something like that. So I think that's just a good quality of life change it could make, and I think it'd be a lot easier to do than a lot of other changes. I mean, it's literally just give us a checkbox after a roll queue if you want to select maps.
Well, let me
That's
let
it.
me provide you. I don't want to say an alternative to that, but something I can actively see Activision Blizzard doing.
Mhm.
When you queue, you pick your game mode.
Yeah, hybrid control, escort, or damn, there's one
Assault.
assault. Yeah, there it is. So that would be great too. I would take that because yeah, sometimes that's what I want to play is control maps, whatever. Control maps are great tracer maps, so sometimes I want to just play that.
Yeah.
I think I'll take that too. I think that's a happy medium between the two. And I think it gives a lot of data to Blizzard about, yo, no one really plays Assault. We kind of fucked that up. We may need to go back in and
Actually,
reevaluate how we do that.
that's a great transition point because my final checklist piece is fix 2CP, fix assault.
Uh,
It is
yeah,
easily, and I don't really like being the negative Nancy agreeing with the community type, but the community hates 2CP.
it
Like it's
does.
it's
It
the
does.
least popular game mode. It's not fun at all when you get rolled or when you roll. You ever play on
Hmm.
Paris and then you take point A and then you
Oh,
walk in and you take point B and the game is over in less than 2 minutes?
I mean that rarely happens because usually what happens to me is I'm attacking on point A, and we have 7 minutes remaining to capture Paris point B, and we lose. I spent 10 minutes of my life
Yeah.
trying to capture a point where they literally spawn right behind it. So you can't. There's not much you can do there, which obviously is to your point that 2CP needs something done to it.
Right.
Um, I think what my opinion, what's wrong with it, if I could just put my 2 cents in,
Go ahead.
is that it's extremely teamwork dependent. It's called Assault for a reason. I equate it to a game like Rainbow Six Siege, right? Where it's a very tactical style. You need to enter the building and you need to figure out the windows and doors. It's very precision based. That's the closest thing we have in Overwatch, and in my opinion, it's a little too tactical for Overwatch.
Okay.
Um, there needs to be some kind of buffer for it because a lot of times you have to quick play. I'm sorry, not quick play, competitive play as solo queue, there's not necessarily going to be a ton of teamwork.
Mm.
Um, because if they're running a specific comp, and you know this, I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but to people who don't know, let's have a Bastion in the very back of Hanamura. You know, I can't hold my shield here. We've got to go in and get the Bastion. But the dive is wrong, the coordination is wrong, and that's frustrating to deal with on 2CP because it has to be perfect or else it doesn't work. And I think that becomes a little too tactical for Overwatch. Even though Overwatch is a combo-based game, that takes it a little too far.
Okay.
So we'll see. I think this new push game mode will be very, interesting in Overwatch 2 because it sounds like that. I mean, that sounds like that, but it sounds like you can be team-based, but not overly team-based. One person pushes the cart or the push robot, etc., etc. So that's my 2 cents. It's too teamwork dependent. Even though Overwatch is a teamwork-based game, too much teamwork. I kind of you may let us free flow a little bit more,
Well,
Blizzard.
this is why it's on my Overwatch 2 wish list. Because we know for a fact that even though all of the maps that we have now, all of the characters that we have now, all of the
Mm-hmm.
content that we have now is going to be rolled into this game, it's not going to stay the same. We have some characters that are
True.
getting literally new looks to themselves. I guarantee you they're going to have a fix for Paris or Horizon. We know for a fact, like, those two maps aren't even played in competitive anymore because
Nope.
I don't want to say they're broken per se, but they
There's bad.
definitely need a lot of work. Horizon has
Yeah.
already seen, what, 3 total map reworks?
It's yes, it
So
has, and people
I
still hate it.
I really want to see a improvement. And with Push, I am actually really excited for that game mode. It's different, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But specifically on 2CP, the mode has a lot of potential. I just don't
Good.
know what we need or what Blizzard needs to fix it, per se.
More avenues. I'm kind of coming up this off the top of my head, so bear with me if the logic is flawed. But give us more avenues. Most assault maps, the first one I think of is Hanamura or
One choke,
Horizon, like you mentioned.
one choke.
One
No,
choke.
Horizon has 2
No,
chokes because you can go from the right or the left.
but no, not in the beginning. You come through the
Oh,
narrow
yeah,
hallway
yeah,
and you
one
go
choke.
right or left, so everyone can just shoot at you as you walk through there. Hanamura, it's the gate. You have a little window on the top. And that's why Hanamura, I think, is one of the ones I prefer more because there's at least another option. You can fly over the gate as a flying hero, a Pharah or an Echo. But something like Horizon, where you got this narrow entryway, like a Junkrat's is gonna tear you up there. You lose all your abilities. It's not fun gameplay to me.
Mm.
And Paris is the same way. In Paris, they have the high ground. Like they're literally just standing in front of you on the high ground, shooting at you. Those kind of maps aren't fun to me. So it needs to be fixed. Give us more avenues. Make Paris. Don't put a house there. Make it that this is a wide open area that we have to get through to get to the point. I think that would make it a little bit better.
So let me propose something to you then. 2CP, we're playing on Paris. Instead of it being one choke, it'll be like on well, just think of like a spawn room, you know? You can enter from either side or even on control maps. On Lijiang Tower Garden, you can go over the bridge. You can go behind the point. If
Yes.
you can fly, you can literally go straight to the point. If we had more options to, I don't want to say deceive your opponent, but make it so where it's not just, all right, team, everybody focus at the door, because that's all
Keep
2CP
shooting.
is you
Yeah.
focus the door until they break through.
and almost no game really does that. I've just been watching Rainbow Six Siege videos lately because I don't know why I was on YouTube black hole.
Hey, Siege is a
Anyway,
great game.
it's pretty fun just from the tactical perspective. You assault the building from different angles. You don't go to the front door, forcing someone to go to the front door while like six guns are pointed at them. That doesn't seem like a fun experience to me. So I would hope for more options. I think the control kind of method is a good way to look at it. Where, for example, we can go behind the back of Hanamura. There's a bridge back there or
Mm,
something. So now they have to actually prepare and bunker down for both sides. That would be a whole lot more fun than, and then maybe point B is one entrance just to keep it fair.
right.
But beside from that, I don't see any other way to fix it. So I think we just need more entryways into a lot of these points.
I mean, we already know that the devs are working on it, so we don't want to harp on it
Work
too bad.
harder, faster.
Better, stronger?
Faster. There you go.
But yeah, Zay, do you have any others on your wish list that you want to talk about this week?
Um, I wish the game came out next week.
That would
That's the
be
last one I
nice.
have.
That would be nice. Hey, we know that BlizzCon Line, God, I still hate saying that, is gonna have a lot of Overwatch 2 content. Hopefully, we get some substantial information. Hopefully, we get beta access. Please, please, Papa Jeff. I would like beta key. Please and thank you. And you know
My
what?
hours, Papa Jeff.
Yes.
Look at my
Yes.
hours.
We'll see what happens from that. But this has been part 2 in our Overwatch 2 series. We're kind of just taking a break from Overwatch League stuff just to talk about what we want in Overwatch 2. But speaking of Overwatch League, we're going to be talking about what Overwatch 2 means for OWL next week. So stay tuned, and until next time, let's make Texas proud.
Y'all.
And like and subscribe, follow us, and all that jazz, 'cause I totally forgot to do that
You
in the
know the
intro.
drill, y'all.